Prepare your team.
8, 7, 6, 5, 102 versus aCtion. ClanBase EuroCup 26. It's Group B. And we're following Dash off the start on this Grim Dungeons map. This is going to be aCtion Ligan's map pick. And off to an early start inside this red room. Both teams are attacking it aggressively. Pretty traditional style of play in that first minute.
Yeah, aCtion didn't have the spawns to be in the red room initially, but they certainly thought they had good enough items to push in. But I don't know how well this attack is going. Actually, it seems like it's gone pretty well.
Yeah, not too bad at all. We do have power-up times, and in about 15 seconds time. Let's put them a little bit later.
Yeah, and that good start for aCtion, that should see them in a nice position to take this first battlesuit.
Well, Pavel's just come in and picked up that frag in the rail position, dropping down, does a lot of damage with the rockets as well. Is he going to challenge that battlesuit? Good dodge by Viam, though. And the quad has been picked up at the same time. Let's see, he's going to meet the battlesuit. It's immortal. It's good for LG, but the battlesuit was stacked with the red armor. Viam comes out on top, and then he can just extend this lead.
Yeah, really easy fight for Viam, showing his strong LG aim, and now it's just a matter of does he push out, or does his team need him to stay at red?
Does decide to push out to this upper lightning gun area. We often see players doing that, trying to get control of that area when they get the opportunity, although well, there's a bit of lag here. He isn't just flying through doorways.
What a hacker.
Wow, there's quite a lot of lag. This is
interesting.
A very unusual way of watching Quake. But smooth and kind of
great
nice
movement though, you have to say.
Very smooth. So, I mean, it looks like it might just settle down a bit, the control of this red room in aCtion's
Yeah, well,
favour.
Viam has given them a great start. His suit run, quickly dispatched the quad, and he has left them in a secure position at the red. Not so strong himself, but no, his team are in a strong position.
Talking about these two teams I mean, both have kind of been underwhelming this season. Wow, nice little pot shot rail just diving in there.
Yeah, both teams have faltered so far in this competition, and they've left themselves in a position where it's a must-win game. Whichever team loses this is out of the competition.
Deliberate Murder, that's 102, they are the reigning champions as well, so it would be a massive shock for them. But aCtion, they've always competed in the latter stages. They've got an all-star lineup themselves. It would kind of be a shock to see either team out, and in some ways, a little bit disappointing that we wouldn't see them in the later rounds. We'll switch around to Pavel here.
I mean, certainly, aCtion have that Danish trio that, they won the Nations Cup, the ESL Nations Cup, with Team Denmark. For them to go out of the group stages of EuroCup, that would be a shock.
So this quad's about to spawn, and Pavel's going to take this one. A double stacked red armor in the hands of Gooda. Nitops just ahead of him, trying to block off any kind of attack from the quad. Pavel's easily dispatched. In fact, Nitops must have done a hell of a lot of damage already with the rockets there.
Yeah, I think so, but I don't know, Pavel on his own there, pushing in the quad. Is that the ideal situation? Where's his team?
It's a questionable choice, wasn't it? Interestingly though, I mean, the Gap's only one frag there, which has been picked up by Gooda with a battlesuit. So aCtion, despite what we've seen, they seem to have the whole run of play. It's really no difference between the two teams. It's just trying to pick up a bit of a gap now, and he can maybe get a bit of a hold on this lightning gun area. Interestingly, decides to back off there. I would have read that situation perhaps as the LG didn't push around, so maybe he was a little bit weak, but it's probably the safest thing to do to back off.
Yeah, I mean, you're in a tight game. Gooda doesn't want to take too big a risk early doors. Risks like that are maybe more viable in the last few minutes when the score's tight, rather than early game.
Just got to bear in mind the map as well when the spawns.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, one kill on this map quite often will turn into 3 or 4 if you're unlucky.
I think Viam just going down a few times there after he was killed, so bringing the score back to a 1 frag difference. Good as double stack this red again.
Yeah, I mean, I can recall games on here where you see someone like Deuce die and then trapped in a spawn cycle where he's killed 6 or 7 times and nothing he could have done about it.
And then you lose the map by, 5 frags or something.
This is promising though. aCtion being able to push out like this is a good sign for their team.
Gooda needs a bit of support here because he's got a rail but no LG ammo, so he can't really push forwards. There's the LG ammo crate. Doesn't want to go and get it?
Yeah, I'm surprised he hasn't taken that because to rail safely where he is, he needs to have a lightning gun in case anyone rushes him.
Well, it looks like he's going to be the guy who picks up the battlesuit, is it? Or maybe not. So he get a double stack red. but I guess it had counted down by that point. Quad coming through. Battlesuit in the hands of Nightops, goes really aggressive with the rockets. He's pinned up in the air. And he does eventually frag the quad. He was always going to come out on top in that area, but he did make quite a bit of work with it.
Yeah, he's fortunate he had the armor, because he was in a terrible situation there. If he'd have had less armor, the quad would have taken him out comfortably.
Yeah, if there'd been a couple of LGs there, just pinning him in the corner with the quad LG as well, I mean, he was going to be killed so quickly. But he did escape that, took out the quad, and well,
it shows you what kind of punishment the battlesuit can take, because he took a couple of good rockets and rails, still had a decent amount of health and armor left.
Yeah, I mean, look at the score though. Deliberate Murder are ahead. I don't know really what action need to do. They've got the area they want, and
we're not seeing what's going wrong for them at the moment, because they're comfortable at red. I mean, I can only assume that their pushes into the other side of the map are just totally unsuccessful, but surely they must have identified that and realised, you know, we can't keep throwing away these kills.
Yeah, well, this could be a good example of what's going wrong. Biome does let a player in there into the rail. He can't realistically drop down safely.
No, it'd be very, very aggressive for him to move down there with 30 health. I mean, even if he was to hit a shot, it's more than likely would go down himself.
Good has taken some damage as well, maybe at that shotgun door where we're following Fortune now, just sneaking. He's only got grenades though.
Yeah, he doesn't really have the weapon, because, I mean, when he was in this position earlier, he was able to rail people.
Oh my god, what a kill!
Jesus.
Dash wasn't too happy about that, so it was a joke. Crazy, I mean, he just has grenades, and look at what he's done already. Does some more damage, might even get a kill out of this one. Gooder goes down as well, so he's got 2 kills with these grenades. Amazing play for Fortune. Power up time it is. Gooder's going to grab that one with nothing. And he's got to be careful here. If he goes at the bounce pad and Quad's rushed in, could put himself in a terrible position. He's surely going to go down. Immortal was stacked up, and now he's double stacked on the armor. Lightning gun as well. He can really push out and pick up a lot of frags here.
Yeah, no doubt about it. First time the suit hasn't had a stack and was punished severely for it.
Yeah, that was a bizarre scenario. Fortune picking up those frags there, really put action on the back foot. The quad's still trying to push out and get this important kill on Nightops, who I think had the yellow armor and lightning gun. He took away the railer as well, Immortal, so those are big kills. Not going to stick around this area. Going to move back to the red. I'd imagine aCtion will be wanting to push this, as we've seen earlier on. But if 1 or 2 have got a strong lock on it, it's going to be difficult for them to do that. This is
very, very easy for him in this position at the moment. No pressure on him. And if his team is still holding the red, then this is a nightmare situation for aCtion.
Yeah, aCtion are in big trouble here. I mean,
see, look, I don't know why he's come back to red though. Has he been called back? Because there's nothing happening here. And now he's given up position on the quad. You know, he could have stayed there and picked up another 3 or 4 frags potentially with a good run.
Does take out Nightops. He's going to be caught out, machine gun down. It does seem like all aCtion did rush there. But as you say, Vol, he gave up position for... we did go back and get a red, I guess, but...
Yeah, it's just, you know, in that situation where he had armor still, I think he would have been far better off staying at the quad. And
if you got good team coordination, Vol, he could have just swapped.
Well, that as well, yeah. But you can see, you know, once he tried to move back to the quad, it's certainly a lot harder to move back there than to stay there and just defend against the people coming in.
A few seconds until the next power-up. Nightops just trying to sneak around this corner. He might be caught out if he's not quick. There he is. He does dive around. That's an excellent movement. He's been shot off by a rail, I think. Gooder, though. He's got a nice 150 armor stack on that quad. However, if he goes at the bounce pad, he could come up against the quad this time, and he's pinned up in the air right into the corner. It's a great rocket, but it's not going to be enough to save him, but it did help Immortal get the kill on the quad, so those are excellent rockets.
That's instant, red. I mean, he took so much damage, Pavel. You know, multiple lightning guns hitting him from all angles.
It's always risky, though. I mean, if you've been down in that lower area, to take that bounce pad straight up.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, speed is sometimes important, but the risk involved with going straight up rather than taking an indirect route. And look again, you know, they're so often railing from this position, Deliberate Murder. I mean, the only real people you can expect to hit are those dropping down for their health, but they're so often here.
Wow, 3 people were over that side. That must have meant the quad was so vulnerable, and sometimes you need to have a spotter just work out how many people are in what area when, and then you can make an aggressive push yourself. aCtion are behind here.
Yeah. They're playing this yellow side of the map so well. It seems like every time aCtion come to this side of the map, thinking they have a chance to push an advantage, it just never materializes and they just get countered.
Fortune doing excellent work there. Looks like they are in at the red. Oh, that was a great rocket. I don't know how that rail missed. Dead on certain here. Fortune doing a bit of a rocket slam as well, clearing out that doorway. You've got to always be mindful of the doorways, of the key areas, the choke points that you can catch out players coming in. As soon as you let them into this open room, it's a lot more difficult to eliminate them.
Yeah, and that attack on red, certainly very effective, sets them up nicely to be able to take this battlesuit, although the quad is slightly ahead, so, once again, they will have to be concerned about taking that bounce pad up.
Yeah, Knight have slightly delayed that one. He's got a good stack on the red. So the quad's lost that early advantage rush. I don't think Nighttop's had anything anyway. I'm not really sure how you can get to that position where quad's coming up. 102 committed everybody to battlesuit, and yet still they didn't have a stacked quad.
This quad does not want to fight the suit, just backing off.
Oh, that's a great... Oh my god, Immortal survives that one. Rocket jumps out. And now he's going to get the frag on the quad. That was insane.
That is unbelievable reactions to do that rocket jump off the wall.
That's incredible. That just shows the level that they're playing at here. I mean, it looks like 102 are really getting back in their stride. The kind of form we saw them in last season. I mean, they are in a very good position now on Grim Dungeons. And this is aCtion Ligan's map pick.
That's just an amazing bit of play, though. I mean, it was such a good idea from the quad to look for the opportunity to knock the suit in the void, but I don't think we could have ever expected what happened after that.
That is stunning. Yeah, as you say, I mean, Nightos did a great shot, really. Played it.
It was a
the
brilliant idea, because he didn't have the stack to go up head-to-head with the suit in such a tight area.
Insane.
Never seen a fight like that on this map. I mean, even all the time this map has been played.
Yeah, it always evolves. I mean, this has been out since the start of Quake, and yet Quake 3, and over a decade, it's still evolving, still changing, still elements you see that you've never seen before. Now following Viam, looks like aCtion are going to be on this quad side again. He looks pretty stacked for this one.
Yeah, and this is what they need, obviously. Just like Deliberate Murder, they had a stacked quad every single time. And the first time they went up against an unstacked suit, it was an easy fight. Viam,
Four aCtion players here.
Couldn't ask for much of a better quad runner than Viam.
They need to rush through that doorway if he's going to go through there. Immortal somehow not stacked again. I don't really understand how that's happened, but has he let the quad through in a different angle? No, because we saw him going underground. He's not quite sure where the quad is. All these aCtion players going down, though.
Yeah, so that means if the quad does come in, now that support is no longer there.
It took too long from Viam, but look at the damage he did with that lightning gun.
He's taken a lot himself, though.
Impressive. 2 frags in 2 seconds. Excellent.
I'd say maybe
Yes, I think they're fortunate that worked out that way, because the suit had already taken out half of Viam's teammates, so those players who were coming in with items were no longer there. It made Viam's job a lot harder, but he was still good enough to pull it off.
Wow. Incredible.
I just can't believe that the score, though, is so decisive. It doesn't feel like we're watching a game where aCtion are nearly 40 frags behind.
No, it really doesn't. I mean, every time we see an aCtion point of view, following Viam, he's doing the right things. Like,
yeah, and we haven't seen double power-ups or, an absolutely dominant run from either team. I just, we're just unfortunately missing the areas of the map that are resulting in this outcome so far.
We did see that battlesuit run from Immortal. We also saw him take over the yellow armor lightning gun for brief sections, and I guess it all just does add up. And as we talked about earlier, the spawn kills, we don't really get to see them, but they're just going to mount up really quickly. This map is a momentum-based map sometimes. You get the frags, then they just keep on coming for a couple of minutes. You go down, then you just keep going down for a while. Immortal rushing up into this red room. Nightops standing up above. Gooda's going to take a lot of damage there. Who's going to get the battlesuit? It is Gooda. He's got to be cautious now, though, of the quad coming through. Pavel hasn't rushed it. He's not actually massively stacked himself. He's decent. There's the battlesuit. Should come out on top. Such close range, and the quad's completely surrounded. Now he needs to take advantage with this battlesuit.
Yeah, definitely. They need lots of frags, and he's in the exact right position to look for them.
Take out Immortal here. Who had the armor, who had the lightning gun. That's a good kill to get. Gooda not quite as accurate with his lightning gun as we've seen him in the past, but he does get the kills in the end, and he's in this area. Now, if he can, he wants to stay here as long as he can. This is exactly what aCtion should have done earlier. Rush this area back straight away if somebody's got control.
Yeah, and they've taken Gooda out comfortably there. Two of them.
Yeah, I mean,
with
he
only
does
a
some
rocket
damage,
launcher
but
and grenades. Or was it even a rocket launcher? I don't know what they had.
Real.
They didn't have much. Yeah. Stolen red armor.
Yeah.
Just makes the way back for aCtion even more difficult. I mean, 30 frags in 4 minutes. It's not completely outside the realms of possibility, but it's certainly a huge challenge, despite it being their home map. A home map that they're vastly experienced on as well.
It's about 40 frags of difference. We've got under 4 minutes now. We've got 2 sets of powers left. The next is in 30 seconds. You know, it's kind of all or nothing now for aCtion. You can get a run of frags on this map that could bring this score back in 4 minutes, but they're going to need something special, and they're going to need double power-ups. And they're working their way towards that now. I mean, Dash does a nice bit of LG on Pavel. He'll be disappointed he didn't get the kill when he sees this afterwards. Pavel escaping with 3 health. 102 trying to push the battlesuit now. I'm not sure they're in the best position for either power-up here. And Nightops takes the quad. Where's this battlesuit? It's been delayed. He can drop down and support it now. Well, they need to grab it. Well, they're looking for a double up. Dash does take it. There's a massive delay now. It makes it... That's actually the right decision, I think, because it makes it very simple at last power-up. They just need to make sure they get big advantage on this one for...
Yeah, they need to cut into this lead. 20 frags is more than they'd like it to be.
It's a lot, but they can do it.
If they can bring it down to 10 or 15, that would be ideal. They're not going to get it that close, but 15 is a possibility.
And they need to keep control of this area and push out that lightning gun yellow. I mean, it looks like they are doing that. I mean, they seem to be doing everything right as far as we can see.
Yeah, certainly are. They're being as aggressive as they possibly can without just throwing their lives away.
We switch around to Starosta. He's in a defensive position. Teammates around him. Of course, they can play really defensive now around the quad and just make sure they lock it down.
Well, certainly. I mean, quad is 10 seconds ahead of the suit. That is where you need to be for these next set of power-ups. You must make sure you get them.
So aggressive, but I agree with what aCtion are doing here, attacking nice and early before 102 can get any kind of stack. I don't know. Vime's backed off though. I think he should have pushed there, supported Nightops.
Stall his rockets pretty much as well. No lightning gun ammo to speak of, really. They'll have one opportunity now, I guess, to try and get in on this quad.
They're going to have to attack it though. There's no real option.
Oh no, certainly. You cannot say we're just going to set suit up in a situation like this. They need the frags. They need quad to be able to get them, because whoever takes this quad is really odds-on favourite for taking the suit as well.
There's 10-second gaps, so easy to get in. They need to push now. Vime's double stacked up there. Oh, look at the LGs! There's no chance they're getting in there. And they all just try to go through that doorway as well. Immortal takes that one. Going to punish Vime for daring to try and steal it away from him. And a few seconds left before the battlesuit spawns. It's going to be an easy grab for 102. It's going to round out victory for them on this first map, aCtion's map pick.
Yeah, I mean, I think we missed a lot of the important moments in the game with the point of views we were watching, but you know, very, very impressive in kind of like the midpoint of this game from 102. You know, all the bad performances they've had recently that we've seen, they're really coming up with a good performance just when they need it in this must-win game.
Yep, showing the experience of champions. But we've still got one more map.
I think it's so interesting that we've seen them predominantly play from the yellows. There's not many teams who are able to do that anymore, to take the yellows by choice for most of the game.
Yeah, they were very comfortable. It's almost like aCtion didn't know how to counter it as well.
Wins.
And I can only imagine that they must have got so many spawn kills. And when you think about it, the yellow side of the map is superior, or potentially superior, when you're looking for spawn frags, because you only have to cut off about 2 different points, and then there's no way back to red for anyone who's going to spawn there.